Have you ever wondered why some people seem to succeed effortlessly while others struggle their entire lives? You see them, those successful individuals who rise above every obstacle, who seem to have cracked the code to life, achieving what the rest of us only dream of. But here's the thing, there's something they're not telling you. They've tapped into secrets, principles so powerful that once you understand them, everything changes. And the reason you haven't heard these secrets is because they aren't glamorous. They aren't part of the story people like to tell. Instead, these principles hide in plain sight, used by only a few, but accessible to everyone willing to learn. And here's the kicker. These secrets aren't just for the ultra-rich or the lucky few. They're available to you right now. All it takes is a willingness to see beyond the surface, to dig into what really drives success. But most people will never do that. They'll stay stuck in the same patterns, never realizing they hold the key to everything they want. Today, I'm going to show you what successful people don't talk about, the principles they live by but rarely share. These aren't just ideas, they're laws. And if you follow them, you'll unlock a power within yourself that most people will never experience. Let's start with the first one. This is the foundation upon which all success is built, yet it's something most people never fully grasp. The truth about success is something most people don't want to hear. It's not glamorous, and it's certainly not easy. You see, there's a hidden principle that every successful person understands, but they rarely talk about it. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. If you master this one principle, everything changes. But most people will avoid it because it demands something most aren't willing to give. The principle? Take 100% responsibility for your life. Now, before you shrug this off as just another motivational cliché, understand this. Successful people don't just talk about responsibility, they live it. They internalize it. They breathe it. They know, deep down, that no one else is going to make their dreams happen. No one else is going to fight their battles. It's all on them. Every decision, every action, every result, they own it. But here's the thing. Most people don't. Most people spend their lives blaming circumstances, pointing fingers, and waiting for someone else to fix their problems. They blame the economy, their upbringing, their job, their boss, the weather, anything to avoid facing the truth. The truth that the only person responsible for where they are in life is them. Successful people know this, and they've known it for a long time, but they don't always talk about it. Because why would they? It's not glamorous, it doesn't sell, but it's the secret that drives their success every day. Imagine this. You're stuck in a job you hate. The pay is low, the hours are long, and every day feels like a grind. Most people would complain. They'd grumble about their boss, the unfairness of it all, and how they're just waiting for the right opportunity to come along. But that's not what successful people do. They take a step back, and they ask themselves, what part of this situation am I responsible for? It's a hard question, but it's the only one that matters. You see, by taking 100% responsibility, they shift the narrative. Instead of waiting for someone else to change their circumstances, they realize they are in control. It's not the job that's holding them back. It's their mindset. It's their choices. It's how they've been showing up every day. And once they take responsibility for that, everything shifts. Let me share a story. Years ago, I found myself in a similar situation. I was in a job that drained me, and for the longest time, I blamed everything around me. I blamed my colleagues, the industry, even the time of year. But then, one day, it hit me. This was all my doing. Every decision I had made had led me to this point. Every choice, every action. And if I wanted to change my life, I had to own that. It was a harsh realization, but it was also liberating. The moment I took responsibility, I stopped waiting for things to change and started taking action to change them myself. This is what successful people do every day. They own their lives completely. They understand that every setback, every failure, every challenge is something they can learn from. They don't waste time blaming external forces. Instead, they focus on what they can control, and that's themselves, their thoughts, their actions, their reactions. And here's the hidden truth most people miss. Once you take 100% responsibility for your life, you realize how much power you actually have. You stop feeling like a victim, and you start feeling like the creator of your reality. The world stops happening to you, and you start shaping your world. But most people don't want to hear this. They don't want to face the fact that their life is a reflection of their own choices. It's uncomfortable. It's easier to blame someone or something else. That's why so few people ever truly embrace this principle. But those who do, they unlock a level of power and control over their lives that others can only dream of. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation you don't like, ask yourself this: what part of this am I responsible for? What choices led you here? What actions can you take right now to change things? It's not about blame, it's about ownership. And the moment you take ownership, everything changes. This is the secret that successful people know, but they rarely share. And now, it's yours. Take 100% responsibility for your life and watch how quickly your world transforms. The second hidden principle is something successful people live by, but rarely mention openly. It's the idea that success doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design. They don't just wait for things to fall into place, they know exactly what they want and set precise goals to get there. Here's where most people get it wrong. They wander through life without a clear sense of direction, hoping that somehow things will work out. They think about success, they wish for it, but they don't take the time to truly define it. Successful individuals, however, know exactly what they're aiming for. It's not enough to say, "I want to be successful." What does that even mean? Is it financial freedom, career achievement, personal fulfillment? Without clarity, you're just shooting in the dark. Here's the real secret. Successful people decide, in vivid detail, what they want. They visualize it. They break it down into specific, measurable goals that give them a roadmap to follow. Let me tell you about someone who truly understood this. Take a look at any top-level athlete, entrepreneur, or artist. They didn't just wake up one day and stumble into success. No. They had a vision. They knew what they wanted to achieve, and they mapped out every step. There was no room for maybe or someday. It was clear, precise, and non-negotiable. They could see their goals so clearly that it felt inevitable. That's the power of clarity. Years ago, I found myself stuck, unsure of what direction to take. I had ambitions, but nothing concrete. And I realized that without a clear goal, I was just drifting. Then I decided to get serious. I sat down and wrote exactly what I wanted, specific goals with deadlines, broken down into actionable steps. And something remarkable happened. Once I had clarity, the path became obvious. It was like a fog had lifted and everything fell into place. The same is true for successful people all over the world. They aren't wandering aimlessly. They know exactly where they're going because they've taken the time to decide. But it's not just about setting goals, it's about committing to them. Successful people don't just set goals and hope for the best, they take action every single day. It's this relentless pursuit of their goals that separates them from the rest. They don't wait for the right time, the perfect conditions, or a lucky break. They move forward, step by step, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable. They understand that every small action compounds over time, leading them closer to the life they've envisioned. Here's where most people falter. They get excited about their goals for a moment, but when the excitement fades, so does their commitment. They lose focus. They get distracted. They forget why they started. But successful people, they hold on to their vision. They keep their goals front and center, and they take consistent, focused action every single day, no matter how they feel. They understand that success is not a one-time event, but the result of daily effort, applied over time. Before we dive deeper, stay with me because in just a few moments, I'll be breaking down the most powerful success principle that ties everything together, something you won't want to miss if you're serious about transforming your life. Keep watching, and you'll get the key that unlocks it all. The next secret is this. Successful people know that persistence is the real game changer. They expect setbacks, they expect failure, but they keep going anyway. What most people don't realize is that success is often just one more step beyond failure. It's the point where most people give up, where they throw in the towel and say it wasn't meant to be. But successful people, they push through. They don't see failure as the end. It's just feedback. It's information they use to adjust, to improve, and to keep moving forward. Persistence is the one trait that separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not about being the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. It's about refusing to quit when things get tough. Think about the people who have achieved extraordinary success in any field. They all have one thing in common. They kept going when everyone else stopped. They faced the same challenges, the same failures, but they didn't let it stop them. They kept moving forward, no matter what. Let me give you an example. Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he succeeded. Thousands. Most people would have given up long before then, but not Edison. He saw each failure as a stepping stone, a necessary part of the process. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of persistence. Successful people don't view failure as a sign that they're on the wrong path. They see it as a natural part of the journey. They understand that every setback brings them closer to success because it teaches them something valuable. They don't let failure stop them. In fact, they use it to fuel their determination. And that's the real secret. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about using failure as a tool for growth and persistence. And this persistence isn't just a vague idea. It's something they apply every single day. They know that even small, consistent actions can lead to big results over time. This is where the rule of 5 comes into play. Every day, successful people commit to doing 5 specific things that move them closer to their goals. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing small, manageable actions every day, knowing that over time, these actions will compound into extraordinary results. Think about it like this. If you were to chop at a tree with 5 swings of an axe every day, eventually that tree would fall. It might not happen immediately, but with persistence, it's inevitable. The same principle applies to success. It's not about making huge leaps. It's about taking consistent, focused action day after day until you achieve your goal. The truth is, most people aren't willing to put in the work. They're looking for shortcuts, quick fixes, and overnight success. But successful people know better. They know that real success takes time. It takes effort. And it takes a willingness to keep going when things get tough. They don't give up. They don't let distractions pull them off course. They stay focused, they stay persistent, and they take action every single day. This is where the real magic happens. It's in the small, consistent actions, the daily steps, the unwavering persistence that leads to success over time. And that's the secret most people will never understand. But now, it's in your hands. But there's another layer to this persistence that many people overlook. You see, It's not just about doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for different results. Successful people have a secret weapon they wield alongside persistence, the ability to adapt and adjust. This is where most people get stuck. They keep pushing forward, but when things don't go as planned, they don't change their approach. They keep swinging the axe in the same spot, wondering why the tree isn't falling. Successful people understand something crucial. It's not about stubbornly sticking to one method. It's about being flexible, adjusting when necessary, and finding new ways to achieve their goals. They know that persistence combined with strategic thinking is the real key. If something isn't working, they don't give up. They pivot. They look for new solutions, new strategies, and new ways to overcome obstacles. Think about the most successful people you know or admire. Whether they're business leaders, athletes, or artists, they all share this trait. When faced with a setback, they don't just keep doing the same thing, hoping for a different outcome. They analyze the situation, learn from it, and then adjust their strategy. This adaptability is what allows them to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Here's an example that perfectly illustrates this principle. Take Elon Musk, the entrepreneur behind Tesla and SpaceX. He faced failure after failure in both ventures. SpaceX's first 3 rocket launches ended in disaster, and Tesla was on the verge of bankruptcy more than once. But Musk didn't quit. He didn't just keep doing the same thing either. Instead, he adjusted his approach, learned from every failure, and found new ways to solve the problems in front of him. It was this combination of persistence and adaptability that led him to success. Now, let's look at another crucial principle successful people rely on. They understand the power of asking. Yes, asking. It's one of the simplest yet most overlooked strategies for achieving success. Most people are afraid to ask for what they want. They fear rejection, so they stay quiet, hoping that somehow things will magically work out. But successful people, they aren't afraid to ask. In fact, they ask constantly for help, for guidance, for opportunities. And here's the secret. They know that rejection is part of the game, and they embrace it. Successful individuals have learned that if you don't ask, the answer is always no. They aren't afraid of hearing no because they know it's just a stepping stone to the next yes. Think about how many people miss out on opportunities simply because they were too afraid to ask. It's one of the easiest things to do, but also one of the most powerful. Whether it's asking for a raise, seeking out a mentor, or requesting feedback, successful people put themselves out there, knowing that each ask brings them closer to what they want. Let me share a personal experience with you. Early in my career, I struggled with asking for help. I thought that asking for guidance made me look weak, as if I didn't know what I was doing. But then, one day, I took the leap. I reached out to someone I admired and asked for advice. To my surprise, they were more than willing to help. That simple act of asking opened doors I never even knew existed. From that moment on, I realized that asking wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a sign of strength. Successful people understand this. They ask, they seek, and they aren't afraid of rejection. They know that each rejection is simply one step closer to the right opportunity. In fact, many of the world's most successful individuals faced rejection countless times before they achieved their goals. But they never let it stop them. They used it as fuel, as motivation to keep going. And that's what most people don't realize. Rejection is a gift, a way to refine your approach and build resilience. Now, while asking for what you want is critical, there's another side to this coin, knowing when to say no. This might sound counterintuitive, but successful people are masters at saying no. They understand that focus is everything, and distractions are the enemy of progress. You see, the world is full of opportunities, but not all of them are right for you. Successful people know this, and they aren't afraid to turn down the things that don't align with their goals. Here's the hidden truth. Most people spread themselves too thin. They say yes to too many things, thinking that more opportunities will lead to more success. But in reality, the opposite is true. Successful individuals are ruthless with their time and energy. They understand that every yes is also a no to something else. So, they carefully choose where to invest their time, saying no to anything that doesn't move them closer to their goals. This isn't easy. In fact, it's one of the hardest things to do. We've been conditioned to believe that saying yes to everything is the key to success. But successful people know that focus is their greatest asset. They don't allow distractions to pull them off course. They protect their time and energy fiercely, knowing that every minute spent on something unimportant is a minute taken away from their most important goals. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine your life is a garden. Every opportunity, every task, every project is a seed. You only have so much space, water, and sunlight to give. If you plant too many seeds, none of them will grow. But if you focus on just a few, give them your full attention, they will flourish. This is how successful people operate. They don't try to grow everything at once. They focus on the few things that truly matter, and they say no to the rest. It's not about doing more, it's about doing the right things. The things that align with your purpose, your goals, your vision. Successful people know this. They don't waste their time chasing every shiny object that comes their way. They stay focused on what's important, and they let everything else fall away. This is the power of saying no. It's not just about turning down distractions. It's about making space for what truly matters. And here's the final layer to this principle. Successful people don't just say no to external distractions. They also say no to internal distractions, the doubts, the fears, the limiting beliefs that try to hold them back. They understand that success starts in the mind, and if they allow negative thoughts to take root, they'll never achieve their full potential. So, they guard their minds just as fiercely as they guard their time. This brings us to another secret, the power of visualization. Successful people know that what you focus on expands. They use visualization as a tool to create their reality. Every day they spend time visualizing their goals, seeing themselves already in possession of what they want. They create a clear, vivid picture in their minds of what success looks like. And here's the key. They don't just see it, they feel it. They experience it as if it's already real. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a powerful tool that successful people use to program their minds for success. When you visualize your goals, you activate the part of your brain that helps you notice opportunities, make decisions, and take actions that align with your vision. It's like tuning your mind to the frequency of success. Take any high-performing athlete, for example. Before they ever step onto the field, they've already played the game 1,000 times in their mind. They've visualized every move, every victory. This mental rehearsal prepares their body and mind for the real thing. The same applies to anyone striving for success. The clearer the vision, the more likely it is to become a reality. So, what's the takeaway here? It's simple. Start asking for what you want, learn to say no to distractions, and use the power of visualization to create the life you desire. These are the secrets successful people use every day, but they rarely talk about. Now you know them, and you can use them too. The truth is, success isn't as mysterious as it seems. It's not reserved for a select few. It's available to anyone willing to put these principles into practice. Will it be easy? No. Will it be worth it? Absolutely. You now hold the keys. The question is, will you use them? The choice is yours. Now that you understand the power of focus, saying no, and visualization, There's another layer to success that most people don't realize, something so simple yet so powerful that it often goes unnoticed. It's the idea that everything starts with the mind. Successful people know this. They understand that the mind is their greatest tool, their most powerful asset, and they guard it fiercely. But here's the thing, most people don't. Most people allow their minds to be filled with distractions, negativity, and limiting beliefs. They let outside circumstances dictate their thoughts and emotions. Successful people, on the other hand, take control of their minds. They practice mental discipline. They understand that what you think about most of the time is what you become. Your thoughts shape your reality. You've probably heard this idea before, but how many people actually live by it? How many people truly take the time to master their minds? Very few. And that's why so many people never reach their full potential. They let their minds run on autopilot, reacting to whatever life throws their way, instead of taking charge and consciously directing their thoughts toward what they want to achieve. Here's the secret. Successful people don't let their minds wander aimlessly. They direct their thoughts with purpose. They choose what they focus on. They fill their minds with empowering beliefs, positive thoughts, and visions of success. They know that the mind is like a garden. If you don't tend to it, weeds will grow. And those weeds, they're the doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs that hold you back. But if you plant the right seeds, if you fill your mind with the right thoughts, your garden will flourish. Let me tell you a story. I once met someone who had achieved incredible success in their field. When I asked them what their secret was, their answer surprised me. They didn't talk about hard work, luck, or even strategy. They simply said, "I learned to control my mind." At first, I didn't understand what they meant, but as we talked, it became clear. They had mastered the art of mental discipline. Every morning, they spent time visualizing their goals, affirming their success, and focusing on what they wanted to achieve. They didn't allow negative thoughts or distractions to take root in their mind. And because of this, they were able to stay focused, motivated, and on track, no matter what challenges they faced. This is what successful people do. They don't leave their mindset to chance. They actively shape it. They cultivate a mindset of abundance, positivity, and possibility. They don't waste a time worrying about things they can't control. Instead, they focus on what they can control: their thoughts, their actions, and their attitude. One of the most powerful tools successful people use to shape their mindset is affirmations. They understand that the words you speak to yourself have a direct impact on your thoughts, and your thoughts create your reality. So, they use affirmations to program their minds for success. Every day, they repeat positive statements about themselves, their abilities, and their goals. They don't just say these words, they believe them. They let these affirmations sink into their subconscious mind, where they begin to influence their actions and decisions. Here's an example. Imagine someone who is constantly telling themselves, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." What do you think their life will look like? Their thoughts will create a reality that matches their beliefs. They'll hesitate to take action, they'll doubt themselves, and they'll miss opportunities because they don't believe they're capable of achieving success. Now, imagine someone who tells themselves every day, "I am successful, I am capable, I am deserving of everything I desire." Their thoughts will create a completely different reality. They'll approach life with confidence, they'll take action, and they'll attract opportunities that align with their positive beliefs. This is the power of affirmations. Successful people use them to train their minds to focus on what they want, rather than what they fear. They understand that you can't control everything in life, but you can control your thoughts. And when you control your thoughts, you control your life. But here's another layer to this principle. Successful people don't just use affirmations for themselves. They use them to shape the world around them. They understand that the words they speak have power, not only over their own minds, but over the minds of others. They speak words of encouragement, positivity, and possibility to those around them, and in doing so, they create an environment that supports their success. Think about the most successful people you know. Chances are they don't engage in gossip, negativity, or complaining. They don't waste time focusing on problems. Instead, they speak about solutions, opportunities, and what's possible. They uplift those around them, and in turn, they attract positive energy and support from others. This brings us to another key principle of success: the power of your environment. Successful people know that their environment plays a crucial role in their success. They carefully curate the people, places, and influences that surround them, ensuring that everything in their environment supports their goals. They don't spend time with negative people who drain their energy or discourage their dreams. Instead, they surround themselves with individuals who inspire, motivate, and challenge them to be better. But it's not just about the people in their lives. Successful people also pay attention to their physical environment. They create spaces that foster creativity, focus, and productivity. Whether it's their workspace, home, or even the books they read and the content they consume, they make sure that everything in their environment is aligned with their vision of success. Here's the secret. Successful people understand that their environment is either helping them move closer to their goals or pulling them further away. There is no neutral. Every interaction, every influence, every decision is either pushing you forward or holding you back. So, they take control of their environment, just as they take control of their minds. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I can't control everything in my environment? And you're right, there will always be things outside of your control. But successful people don't focus on what they can't control. They focus on what they can. They create pockets of positivity and productivity in their lives, even when the outside world is chaotic. They find ways to turn their environment into a support system for their success, no matter where they are or what challenges they face. This is why successful people are so intentional about the choices they make every day. They understand that success isn't about one big grand moment. It's about the small daily decisions that compound over time. It's about choosing to focus on what matters, to take consistent action, and to create an environment that supports your growth. The truth is, success is within reach for anyone willing to adopt these principles. It's not a mystery, it's not luck, and it's not reserved for a select few. It's a result of mindset, focus, persistence, and intentional action. But here's the thing, most people will never fully commit to these principles. They'll dabble in them, they'll try them for a while, but they won't stick with them long enough to see the real results. That's what sets successful people apart. They don't just try, they commit. They make these principles a way of life, not just a temporary strategy. And because of that, they create lives of extraordinary success, fulfillment, and happiness. You've now been given the keys to success. These principles are simple, but they are not easy. They require dedication, focus, and a willingness to take full responsibility for your life. But if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to commit to mastering your mind, your environment, and your actions, there is nothing you can't achieve. The question now is, will you use these keys, or will you let them slip through your fingers like so many others before you? The choice is yours. Success is waiting for you. It's up to you to go and claim it. Stick around until the end, because I'll be recapping all the key principles we've covered one more time. This final review will help you fully integrate these strategies into your life so you can start applying them immediately for lasting success. Don't miss it. And now, you've reached the part where things start to get even more real. Success isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process. This is one of the most overlooked truths that successful people rarely talk about. They understand that success isn't about chasing the next goal, the next achievement, or the next milestone. It's about personal transformation. It's about evolving into the person who naturally attracts and handles the success they desire. You see, most people approach success backwards. They think that if they achieve a certain goal, then they'll finally be the person they've always wanted to be, confident, accomplished, fulfilled. But successful people understand something different. They know that becoming comes before achieving. You have to become the person who is capable of success long before the external results show up. This is why personal growth is such a key principle for success. Successful people are constantly working on themselves. They're reading, learning, reflecting, and evolving. They're not just focused on the outcome, they're focused on the process of becoming. Every challenge, every setback, every failure is seen as an opportunity for growth. They don't get stuck in the frustration of things not going their way. Instead, they ask themselves, who do I need to become to handle this? What lesson is this experience trying to teach me? It's this mindset that sets them apart. They understand that success isn't a destination, it's a journey of constant growth and evolution. And as they grow, their ability to achieve and sustain success grows with them. Let me share a personal story. Early on in my career, I was obsessed with the idea of achieving certain milestones. I thought that once I hit those goals, everything would fall into place. But time and time again, I'd hit the mark, only to feel a sense of emptiness or frustration. It wasn't until I shifted my focus to personal growth, on becoming someone who could handle not just the success, but the challenges along the way, that everything changed. The external results followed naturally, but more importantly, I found fulfillment in the journey itself. Here's the hidden truth. Successful people don't just chase goals. They chase growth. They see every experience, whether good or bad, as a chance to become a better version of themselves. They understand that the bigger their goals, the bigger the challenges they'll face. And to overcome those challenges, they must continuously elevate themselves. This leads us to another powerful principle: embracing failure. Most people see failure as the opposite of success, but successful individuals know better. They understand that failure is a stepping stone to success, not something to be feared or avoided. They don't shy away from it. Instead, they run toward it, knowing that every failure brings them one step closer to their goals. This is where so many people get stuck. They're so afraid of failing that they never even try. They stay in their comfort zone, playing small, because the idea of failing is too overwhelming. But here's what successful people know. Failure is inevitable. It's part of the process. No one achieves anything great without facing setbacks and challenges. What matters is how you respond to failure, whether you let it define you or refine you. Think about some of the most successful people in history. How many times did they fail before they succeeded? Thomas Edison, as mentioned before, failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Oprah Winfrey faced rejection after rejection before becoming a media mogul. J.K. Rowling's manuscript for Harry Potter was rejected by 12 different publishers before it became a global phenomenon. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the absence of failure. It's their willingness to keep going in the face of it. Successful people don't let failure stop them. They use it to learn, to grow, and to refine their approach. They understand that every failure is simply feedback, an opportunity to adjust and try again. This is what separates them from the rest. While most people give up at the first sign of difficulty, successful individuals embrace failure as part of the journey. They expect it, they plan for it, and they use it to propel themselves forward. Here's another thing successful people know. Success is a team sport. You can't do it alone. While personal responsibility and growth are crucial, no one achieves great things in isolation. Successful people surround themselves with a strong support network, mentors, coaches, peers, people who push them, challenge them, and keep them accountable. They don't try to be a lone wolf, figuring everything out on their own. They seek out those who have already walked the path and learned from them. They understand that by surrounding themselves with the right people, they can accelerate their growth and success. They're constantly learning from others, collaborating, and building a team that supports their vision. Think about the most successful organizations or individuals. Behind every great leader, there's a team of people helping them achieve their vision. Even the most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and performers have mentors, coaches, and peers who guide them along the way. Success isn't a solo journey. It requires the help and support of others who believe in your vision and push you to be your best. But here's the hidden part most don't realize. Successful people are incredibly selective about who they let into their inner circle. They understand that not everyone has the right energy, mindset, or influence to be part of their journey. They are careful to surround themselves with people who uplift and inspire them, rather than those who bring negativity or doubt. This doesn't mean they cut everyone out of their lives, but they are intentional about who they spend the most time with. They know that your environment shapes your success, and the people you surround yourself with are a critical part of that environment. So, if you're serious about success, it's time to take a good look at your inner circle. Are the people around you pushing you to be better, or are they holding you back? Are they encouraging your growth, or are they feeding into your fears and doubts? Successful people ask these questions, and they're willing to make the tough decisions to ensure their environment is one that fosters success. Success is built on a foundation of personal growth, persistence, adaptability, and support. It's about becoming the person who can handle success, not just achieving the goal. It's about transforming yourself along the way, embracing failure, and surrounding yourself with people who will push you forward. As you move forward, remember this: success isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create, step by step, day by day, with every thought, action, and decision you make. There will be challenges, there will be setbacks. But if you commit to growth, embrace failure, and surround yourself with the right people, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Success is a journey, and it's one worth taking. Now, it's time to decide what kind of journey you want to embark on. You have the tools, the principles, and the insight to move forward with confidence. The next step is yours. Now that you understand how success is built on principles of growth, persistence, and surrounding yourself with the right people, there's another truth that successful individuals live by. It's subtle, often overlooked, but it's the reason they can weather storms that would sink others. It's the idea that success requires a long-term perspective. Most people are caught up in the short term. They want results now. They want success to come quickly, and when it doesn't, they get frustrated, they give up, or they settle. But successful people know that real success takes time. They aren't looking for quick fixes or instant gratification. They're playing the long game, and they understand that anything worth achieving requires patience, persistence, and long-term commitment. This is where most people falter. They start with excitement, fueled by the initial spark of motivation, but when the results don't show up immediately, they lose focus. They want instant rewards, but the truth is, success is a marathon, not a sprint. The most successful people think in terms of years, even decades. They understand that the seeds they plant today might not bear fruit for a long time, but they keep tending to them, nurturing them, and trusting the process. There's a reason why the phrase overnight success is a myth. Even the people who seem to have risen to the top quickly often spent years behind the scenes, honing their craft, facing rejection, and building the foundation for their success. What looks like an overnight achievement is often the result of years of preparation, effort, and persistence that most people never saw. Successful people are masters of delayed gratification. They know that if they focus on building something meaningful, the rewards will come, but they're willing to wait for them. They don't get discouraged by setbacks or delays because they understand that every small step is part of a much larger picture. They have the vision to see beyond the immediate results and trust in the long-term process. Take the example of Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors. His approach to wealth is built entirely on long-term thinking. He doesn't make impulsive decisions based on short-term market fluctuations. Instead, he invests in companies he believes will grow steadily over time. He once said, "The stock market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient." That wisdom applies to more than just investing. It's a principle of life. Patience and a long-term perspective will always outlast the short-term rush. But it's not just about being patient. It's about consistently taking action toward your long-term vision. Successful people break down their big goals into smaller, manageable tasks and then take action on those tasks every day. They understand that progress is made incrementally, not all at once. They don't try to do everything in a single day, but they make sure to do something every day. They chip away at their goals, understanding that every small step brings them closer to the finish line. This leads to another crucial principle of success: consistency. Consistency is what turns small efforts into massive results over time. It's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up halfway. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. They think that if they can't do something big, it's not worth doing at all. But successful people know that even the smallest step forward is progress, as long as it's done consistently. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. There was a time in my life when I was struggling to maintain momentum toward my goals. I would have bursts of energy and motivation, work hard for a few days, and then lose steam when I didn't see immediate results. It was frustrating, and I felt like I was getting nowhere. But then I realized something. I wasn't being consistent. I was putting in effort in short, intense bursts, but I wasn't sticking with it long enough to see the results. So I made a commitment to myself. I decided that no matter how small, I would do something every day to move closer to my goals. Even if it was just 10 minutes of focused work, I would do it, and the results were incredible. Slowly but surely, I started to see progress. It wasn't fast, but it was steady, and over time, that consistency paid off in ways I couldn't have imagined. This is what successful people do. They don't wait for the perfect moment to start. They don't rely on bursts of motivation. They create routines, habits, and systems that ensure they're taking action every day, no matter what. They know that the magic is in the consistency, not in the intensity. But here's the hidden part. Successful people don't just rely on their willpower or motivation to stay consistent. They create systems and structures that make it easier to stay on track. They understand that motivation will come and go, but systems will keep them moving forward. Whether it's a morning routine, a productivity tool, or a weekly check-in, they build systems that support their long-term success. Think about it like this. If you were to rely solely on your willpower to get up early every day and work toward your goals, eventually you'd hit a wall. Some days, you just won't feel like it. That's why successful people create environments and systems that make it easier to stick to their habits, even when they don't feel motivated. They remove as much friction as possible between themselves and their goals. And this brings us to another principle that ties it all together: discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. It's what keeps you on track when the excitement fades and the challenges arise. Successful people have learned to cultivate discipline in every area of their lives. They understand that success isn't about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary, even when it's hard. Here's the truth. Everyone struggles with discipline at some point. It's not something that comes naturally to most people, but successful individuals train themselves to be disciplined because they know that discipline is the key to achieving their long-term vision. They've learned that discipline isn't about restricting themselves or living a joyless life. It's about creating the freedom to achieve what they truly want. Think about it like this. If you want to achieve financial success, discipline is what keeps you from spending impulsively and helps you save and invest consistently. If you want to achieve health and fitness goals, discipline is what gets you to the gym on the days when you'd rather stay in bed. Discipline is the quiet force behind every successful person's achievements. It's the ability to make choices based on your long-term vision rather than your short-term emotions. But here's the part that most people miss. Discipline doesn't have to feel like a punishment. Successful people find ways to make discipline enjoyable. They attach meaning to their actions. They connect their daily habits and routines to their bigger purpose, and this gives them the energy to stay disciplined, even when it's hard. They don't just focus on what they have to do. They focus on why they're doing it. And that why becomes the driving force behind their discipline. So, when you think about discipline, don't see it as something that holds you back or restricts you. See it as the tool that unlocks your true potential. See it as the force that helps you create the life you want, the success you desire, and the fulfillment you deserve. At the end of the day, success isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's not about being born into the right circumstances or waiting for the perfect opportunity. Success is available to anyone who is willing to adopt these principles, who is willing to take 100% responsibility, to focus on long-term growth, to stay persistent, to ask for what they want, to embrace failure, to stay consistent, and to cultivate discipline. These principles are simple, but they are powerful. They require commitment, focus, and patience. And most importantly, they require action. Successful people don't just know these principles, they live them every single day. And that's why they succeed, while others are left wondering why success seems so elusive. Success isn't a mystery. It's a series of choices, habits, and actions that, when practiced consistently over time, lead to extraordinary results. You've now seen the principles that successful people live by. They aren't secrets, but they are powerful. And now that you know them, you have the power to apply them to your own life. The path to success is clear. The only thing left to do is start walking it. Success, as we've seen, is not about some grand external event, but about the small, seemingly insignificant choices you make every day. These principles you've learned, if applied consistently, will create a momentum that moves you toward your goals. But there's one more layer to understanding how successful people think, and it's crucial for tying everything together: self-belief. Self-belief is the fuel that powers everything else. Without it, the principles, the strategies, the disciplines, they fall flat. You can have the best intentions and take all the right steps, but if deep down you don't believe in your ability to succeed, you'll always find a way to sabotage yourself. Successful people have an unshakable belief in themselves, even when things aren't going their way, even when the world seems to be against them. They trust that no matter what challenges come their way, they will find a way to overcome them. But here's the truth. Self-belief isn't something you're born with. It's something you cultivate. Most successful people didn't start out believing they could achieve great things. In fact, many of them faced incredible self-doubt at some point in their journey. But they learned how to build their confidence over time, and so can you. You see, Self-belief isn't about arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It's about trusting yourself. It's about knowing that even though you don't have all the answers right now, you have the ability to figure them out. It's about knowing that you can handle whatever life throws your way because you're willing to grow, learn, and adapt. Successful people don't always know how they're going to achieve their goals, but they have faith in themselves that they will find a way. So how do you build this kind of belief in yourself? It starts with small wins. Every time you set a goal and follow through on it, no matter how small, you build trust in yourself. Every time you face a challenge and come out the other side stronger, you reinforce the idea that you are capable. It's like building a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. And just like a muscle, self-belief can be strengthened or weakened based on your actions. Successful people protect their self-belief by focusing on their wins, not their losses. They don't dwell on their failures. They learn from them, but they don't let them define them. Instead, they celebrate their victories, no matter how small. They keep track of their progress and remind themselves of how far they've come. This isn't about inflating their egos. It's about reinforcing the belief that they are capable of achieving their goals. One of the most powerful ways to build self-belief is through affirmations. Successful people use affirmations to reprogram their subconscious mind with positive, empowering beliefs. They speak to themselves with kindness and encouragement rather than criticism and doubt. Every day they affirm their ability to succeed, their worthiness of success, and their commitment to growth. Over time, these affirmations sink into their subconscious mind and become part of their belief system. Here's something important. The way you talk to yourself matters. Your inner dialogue shapes your reality. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you're going to fail, or that success isn't possible for you, those thoughts will become your reality. But if you speak to yourself with confidence, if you affirm your ability to succeed, those thoughts will shape a new reality, one where success is inevitable. Let me give you an example. There was a time when I struggled with self-doubt. I had big goals, but deep down, I didn't fully believe I could achieve them. I was constantly questioning myself, and that doubt showed up in my actions. I would hesitate to take risks, hold back from opportunities, and second-guess every decision. It wasn't until I started working on my self-belief, through affirmations, small wins, and focusing on my progress, that things began to change. Slowly but surely, I started to trust myself more. I stopped hesitating and started taking bold action, and as my self-belief grew, so did my results. This is how successful people think. They build their self-belief brick by brick, through consistent action and positive self-talk. They don't wait for the world to validate their worth. They create their own validation. They trust themselves, even when others doubt them. They believe in their ability to succeed, even when the path ahead is unclear. But here's another truth. Self-belief isn't just about trusting your abilities. It's also about knowing that you deserve success. Many people have the skills, the talent, and the drive to succeed, but deep down, they don't believe they deserve it. They carry around feelings of unworthiness, often without even realizing it. Successful people recognize this, and they actively work on building their sense of self-worth. They understand that their success doesn't just depend on what they do, but also on how they see themselves. This is where self-love comes in. It's not just about being confident in your abilities. It's about accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. It's about knowing that you are worthy of success, happiness and fulfillment simply because you exist. Successful people don't tie their worth to external achievements. They know their worth is inherent, and because of that, they're able to pursue success without fear of failure. They know that whether they succeed or fail, they are still worthy, still valuable. When you truly believe you deserve success, you stop holding yourself back. You stop sabotaging your efforts. You stop settling for less than you're capable of. You start showing up fully, unapologetically, and you take bold action toward your goals. Successful people don't wait for permission to succeed. They give themselves permission. They know they deserve it, and they act accordingly. We repeat the principles one more time. Each principle, when truly understood and applied, becomes a powerful tool that not only shapes outcomes, but also transforms you into the person who can sustain success. Let's take each principle and break it down so you can start applying them right now and see how they can change your life from the inside out. The first principle that successful people live by is taking 100% responsibility for your life. This isn't just about acknowledging that you have control over your actions. It's much deeper than that. It means understanding that everything, absolutely everything that happens in your life is a result of the choices you make. It's not just about accepting responsibility for your successes, but also for your failures, your setbacks, and even the things that seem out of your control. Most people live their lives as if they are at the mercy of outside forces, circumstances, other people, luck, or fate. But successful people know that their lives are shaped by their own actions and reactions. This principle allows them to stop waiting for things to happen and start making things happen. When you take full responsibility, you give up all excuses. You stop blaming the economy, your upbringing, your boss, or the weather. You realize that no matter what the external conditions are, you have the power to choose how you respond and how you move forward. Let's take this a step further. If you find yourself in a difficult situation, a job you don't like, a relationship that's draining you, or a health issue, what part of this are you responsible for? Successful people ask themselves this tough question every time they face a challenge. Not because they want to assign blame, but because they know that in finding their role in the situation, they unlock the ability to change it. They don't focus on what's wrong or what's unfair. They focus on what they can control and what they can do differently to create a better outcome. By taking 100% responsibility for everything in your life, you shift from being a passive observer of your life to becoming the active creator. This principle is the foundation for all others because it empowers you to take full control of your destiny. The next crucial principle is clarity of vision and goals. This is another area where successful people set themselves apart. Most people have vague ideas about what they want. Maybe they want to be wealthy, happy, or successful, but they don't have a clear, defined vision. Successful people, on the other hand, know exactly what they want. They can picture it in vivid detail, down to the smallest elements. When you have a crystal clear vision of what success looks like to you, you give your mind something to focus on. Successful people take the time to define their goals with precision. They don't just say, "I want to be successful." They say, "I want to have X amount of money in my bank account by this date," or "I want to build a business that impacts 10,000 lives by next year." They create a mental picture so detailed that they can see it, feel it, and almost taste it. This clarity gives their actions direction. Instead of drifting from one opportunity to the next, they make deliberate choices aligned with their vision. Every day becomes a step toward their clearly defined goals. But it's not just about setting the goal. It's about breaking it down into manageable steps and then focusing on consistent action toward those steps. Successful people don't wait for motivation to strike before they take action. They know that it's their commitment to their vision that fuels them, not temporary bursts of motivation. This is where the principle of consistency comes in. Day after day they show up, take action, and move toward their goals, even when it's hard, even when they don't feel like it. Consistency is what separates those who achieve long-term success from those who give up too soon. It's not about doing massive things all at once. It's about taking small, intentional steps every day. These small actions compound over time, creating momentum that leads to significant results. You've probably heard the saying that success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out, and it's absolutely true. Think about it like planting a garden. Each action you take is like planting a seed. Some seeds will sprout quickly, others will take longer, but as long as you keep planting, tending and watering those seeds consistently, you will see growth. Most people give up before they see the results of their efforts, but successful people keep going, knowing that consistency is the key to growth and success. Another powerful principle is embracing failure as feedback. Most people fear failure. They see it as a sign that they're on the wrong path or that they're not good enough. But successful people see failure differently. To them, failure is simply feedback. It's information that helps them adjust their course, refine their approach, and keep moving forward. This mindset shift is one of the most crucial elements of success. When you stop seeing failure as something to be feared and start seeing it as a necessary part of the journey, everything changes. Instead of being paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes, you become willing to take risks, knowing that every failure brings you one step closer to success. Take any successful person, and you'll find a long list of failures behind their achievements. The difference is that they didn't let those failures define them or stop them. They used each failure as a stepping stone, learning from it and adjusting their approach. The ability to adapt and be flexible in the face of challenges is what keeps successful people moving forward when others give up. This leads us to another key principle: adaptability. The path to success is rarely a straight line. There will be obstacles, detours, and unexpected challenges along the way. Successful people understand this, and they embrace the need to adapt. They don't cling to one rigid plan or method. Instead, they are willing to pivot, change strategies, and find new solutions when necessary. Think of adaptability as a superpower. It allows you to remain flexible, creative, and open to new opportunities, even when things don't go according to plan. Successful people are never married to one way of doing things. If something isn't working, they don't waste time trying to force it. They adapt and find a better way. But adaptability doesn't mean abandoning your goals. It means being willing to change your approach to achieve those goals. It's about being persistent in your vision, but flexible in your methods. One of the most important principles that ties all of these together is self-belief. Successful people have an unshakable belief in themselves and their ability to succeed, even when the odds are stacked against them. This belief doesn't mean they never doubt or feel insecure. It means that despite those doubts, they move forward with confidence. Self-belief is what gives successful people the courage to take risks, the resilience to bounce back from failure, and the strength to keep going when things get tough. They trust that they can handle whatever comes their way, and that ultimately they will succeed. This self-belief isn't something that just happens. It's something they cultivate every day. They reinforce it through their thoughts, actions, and environment. They use positive affirmations to program their minds with empowering beliefs, and they surround themselves with people who uplift and support them. Self-belief is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every time you set a goal and follow through on it, you build trust in yourself. Every time you overcome a challenge, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Successful people protect their self-belief by focusing on their progress, not their setbacks. They celebrate their wins, no matter how small, and they use those wins as fuel to keep going. In the end, these principles aren't just tactics. They are a way of thinking and living that create a solid foundation for success. Taking full responsibility, having a clear vision, embracing consistency, adapting to challenges, and believing in yourself. These are the pillars that will carry you toward the life you want to create. Successful people don't just know these principles, they live them day in and day out. Now, it's your turn to take these principles and make them your own. Focus on mastering these foundational truths, and you'll begin to see your life shift in remarkable ways. Success is not an accident. It's the result of intentional choices, disciplined action, and a mindset that refuses to settle for anything less than what you truly want. So, here's the real secret. Success isn't just about mastering external principles like goal setting, persistence, or discipline. It's also about mastering your internal world. It's about cultivating self-belief, self-worth, and self-love. It's about becoming the person who can handle success, not just on the outside, but on the inside as well. When you combine these internal and external principles, that's when true success happens. It's not just about achieving your goals, it's about becoming someone who naturally attracts and sustains success. It's about creating a life that aligns with your highest potential, a life that feels fulfilling, joyful, and meaningful. You've been given the tools. You know the principles that successful people live by. You've seen how they think, how they act, and how they approach life. Now, it's time to integrate these principles into your own life, to live by them every day, and to let them transform not just your results, but who you are at your core. Success is available to you. It's not a mystery. It's not reserved for a select few, and it's not something you have to chase endlessly. It's something you create from within. The more you align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with these principles, the more you'll see success unfold naturally in your life. So start today. Take the principles you've learned, apply them consistently, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Success isn't a destination, it's a way of being. And now, you know the path to walk.